market on that for sure. Because there you go. I just dropped another one. I'm dropping one like every map. So there's like 120 of them on the market or something. Oh wow, second one already. 2 in one map. And the reason why it's so common for me is because, again, I'm seriously dropping like 100 cluster jewels every map. You got to think about the odds. If you drop 100 cluster jewels, you probably are going to get 1 on average in 100. You guys ready for this? It's new. We're here with another 100 maps farming session. Today on the menu is iLvl 84 clusters, a very well kept secret, I think, in the currency earning farming community. I stumbled onto this a couple leagues ago, and I honestly thought this was going to become a mainstay of an entry-level tier 17 farm that people would almost think of the same way you think of Searing Exarch altar farming, as you just break into the Atlas, almost like that. But it so happens that Simulacrum was buffed a lot last league, and it made the cluster market not quite so favorable. Well, we're revisiting that strat because for whatever reason, Simulacrum's not that popular, and then Aura bots are really popular again, and that has revitalized the iLvl 84 cluster market tremendously, especially that 3 passive reservation cluster, which we'll take a look at PoE Ninja to see the values of these. I want to do something a little different for you today. I'm actually just going to throw a map in because, again, in this environment, I kind of mentioned this in the last video, people are very much antagonizing about the whole idle system. Check this out. I'm going to run this map right here. I'm actually going to count this one. This is one of the 100 maps that I'm going to do, and this one's going to be ran a little differently. But I'm going to run this with 1 idle, Delirium, with the cheapest map that exists in the game, Citadel. And I'm just going to throw this in. I'm just going to show you what happens when I do this. Let's go in here, and there's a deli mirror. And we're just going to kill a few monsters. Oh, wow. Oops. Hold on. I messed up. I forgot the scarabs. It does require some scarabs. Hold on. Let me do that again. Scratch that. Oh no. I need scarabs.
12 seconds later.
Okay, I lied to you. It's not that easy. You need a few scarabs. Pretty cheap scarabs. Okay, this is Paranoia and Mania times 1. Paranoia times 4, Mania times 1. Let's try that again. I had another backup map anyway. Okay, watch this. This is 1 idol, 1 unique idol, never-ending deli mirror. You can see all the delirium rewards down there on the bottom of the screen. Look at how many rewards are there. Now, this map honestly sucks a lot, but the reason I chose it is because it's so cheap, and guess what? I have no intention of killing the boss here. And we got a small cluster right there. 1 cluster. Wow, a bunch of clusters. Already just dropping clusters like crazy. Here they come. More clusters. These are all iLvl 84 clusters. And guys, most of these clusters that drop are worth at least 5 to 10 chaos. So if you are like someone who's crazy strapped for cash, and you're like all about those 5 to 10 C trades, you're gonna love this strat, because even when you don't hit a good one, you can still make plenty of currency on it. Ready to see some more clusters? Look at that. So many clusters. It's basically like finishing the Delirium mirror and just getting your entire cluster round, but every single round you do this. All right, now I don't actually want to keep these. I do want to keep my small clusters though. I'm sure I'll explain why later. And let's just get one more round, okay? I've done like what? I've done a quarter of this map, maybe a quarter of the map. Honestly, I don't really know because I never do Citadel, but now you'll notice that it gets progressively harder to get Delirium rewards over time. And so this strat that we're going to show you today really caters to the lowest common denominator. So, oh wow, I did say this is one of my 100 maps, so check it out. We just hit a jackpot. That's worth 4 divines. That cluster I just picked up. I mean, it's not that surprising to me. It's not that surprising because we're dropping tons of clusters. So, in 5 rounds of a map that had no idols, I dropped like 20 to 30 clusters already in 5 rounds. Easy mode, and made 4 divines. Now, that's a little lucky, obviously. But that's consistently a lot of clusters. Some of those clusters were orange in the filter. That means they're worth like 10 to 30 chaos a piece, basically. And so I'm just going to put these right in dump tab A because I did say at the front of the video, we're counting these. And so we're just going to throw... Oops, not that. Not the larges. I'm going to put all of these in here, and then I'm going to show you one more thing. Really cool, okay? Check this out. You can 5 to 1 these clusters. So for every 5 clusters you loot, you get 1 for free. Oops, needs to be... they need to all be the same rarity. They all need to be rare. Okay, I'm glad that happened. So now you can see that in case it's like, what the hell? And you'll see this hidden item. And now this is also going to be the lowest eye level cluster that I dropped, which was 84. And boom, it's just another one for free. And then I can like keep doing that over and over again. This cluster right here is worth between 4 and 5 divines. 4.7 divines currently at the time of recording this right now. And that's been a pretty stable market for now. We'll see how long that lasts. But there you go. I mean, that's just like an instant intro into massive currency earning potential there. Again, 5 to 10 C for virtually all those clusters. The orange ones, the high mid-tier ones, 10 to 30, 40 C, and then the occasional jackpot. And all I had to do was not die instantly on a tier 17. Let's assume I just 6-portaled that map. Let's assume I died 6 times and cleared half the map. I still get 20 to 30 clusters. Don't even need to do the boss. I have no intention of doing the boss. I'd like to think most people who are at least able to farm tier 16s could be doing that. And now let's get to the rest of the video, where we're going to talk about the usual stuff. So we'll start with the target of the farm. Should be obvious based on what I just showed you. The target is clusters. Item level 84 clusters, small and large in particular. I'm currently going to be running not this filter. I'm going to be running Omega Strict. I'm going straight up to this. This is going to hide all medium clusters because they're just simply not worth anything. And then it's going to show large that are worth a bit, and it's going to show all small, and I'm going to do the 5 to 1 on the smalls on that. All right, here's all the clusters. All right, guys, this is the current list of the clusters. It's actually undervaluing some of these things. We got minion, 12 passive minions still worth something. For some reason, the holding a shield clusters, 8 and 12 passives are worth a lot. We're going to see those too. 11 passive minions still worth something. The mana reservation efficiency one is the big one. Even 12 passive lightning. And a few others are going to show up, but I mean, that's basically it. But again, I'm going to be dropping upwards of 100 clusters in a map because I'm going to be getting around 10 rewards per map because I'm going to be using idols, and the idol system really has a lot to offer there. Okay, next let's talk about the Atlas, which is completely out of play here because we're doing tier 17 maps, so there's actually nothing going on. We're just going to be looking at idols in a minute, but we do need to talk about scarabs. And for scarabs, real quick, get this out of the way. Domination on the map device times 100. That's 300 chaos there. And then I'm going to be running quadruple delirium scarab of paranoia. These are like 3, 4, maybe 5 C a piece. And then 1 copy of scarab of mania. And so it's all delirium scarabs. And for what I've found, I've done different combination of these things. I found this to produce the highest amount of total rewards overall. Do keep in mind the Mania Scarab makes the maps quite a bit harder, especially for the boss. If you're interested in killing the boss, which I will be, which we'll talk about in a moment. Delirium rewards fill faster, which is multiplicative with one of the idle mods that we're going to be using, but it's got delirium in areas increases 50% faster with distance from the mirror. That also makes the rewards fill faster, or I think it does actually. Well, maybe not because it has a separate line. But that's going to make the delirium deeper and harder at the end of the boss. So that's going to make the boss a lot less killable if you don't have a crazy character. Well, now I have Headhunter, so that's pretty easy going. As far as maps are concerned, any roll's fine. I'm not farming scarabs, really. I'm not farming currency. I'm not farming, pack size isn't going to make a huge difference. Kind of nice. I'm not using any maving chisels. Honestly, like the cheapest you can get. I did, for this run here, this set, roll the antagonist mod on every single one. Okay, the antagonist mod is this increased number of rare monsters with rare monsters of 2 additional modifiers. I'm simply doing that because I'm running Headhunter, and it's just going to make the maps a lot easier. Because it's not super easy to kill a boss in Deep Delirium, Tier 17 Abomination boss, which is what we're running. The reason why I'm running Abomination is because Reality Fragment is, Uber Fragment from Maven, is the most valuable fragment currently right now. Also, Abomination boss is uniquely well suited for Frostblades, as it provides the mini bosses and then other things. There's actually a lot of monsters that spawn in that room, so it's kind of nice with not having to deal with single target too much. And then the Abomination boss himself is not that hard, at least for this build. So I really like this. I used to run it on Abomination as well back in the day. I'm also budgeting an extra 20C per map for rolling. And of course it takes a little bit more than that to hit the antagonist mod, but this is massively offset by hitting super premium maps that you can sell or save for a better farm. Take a look at this screenshot here. This is more scarabs 140% plus the antagonist mod that I just referred to. And this is a super premium scarab farming map for people who are farming scarabs by killing rare monsters, either Pantheon touched or perhaps if they're paying this much, they might be doing rolling strong boxes, which is a strat I did last time. And you can get up to 10, 20, even 30 divines worth of scarab. It's completely night and day with scarab farming when you have a map that's rolled this well. And it is quite rare to hit a map like this, but as you can see, it sells for crazy amount of currency, just straight up. So this massively offsets the cost because I'm not running maps like this. When I see a map that hits like this, I'm not just throwing it in there randomly and wasting its value. I'm actually turning around selling it or saving it. All right, let's do the idols now. So this is something people are going to be curious about. The mandatory idol is Unending Nightmare. This makes it so your delirium mirror never dissipates. And the part of this strat that's so well kept secret is the fact that cluster farming is really insane when you run delirium mirror and then it never dissipates for whatever reason. I don't even know if this is technically intended to be working this way, but every time the delirium reward cycles through, it gives you like a full round of cluster jewels with it. Usually when you do a delirium mirror, you get all your rounds and then at the very end you get like one big set of cluster jewels, but in this case you get a set every single round. Even after you kill like 5 monsters in the map, you get a round of delirium rewards. And you saw I dropped cluster jewels after killing like 3 monsters in that Citadel map. It's honestly pretty insane. You could fail miserably and still make a ton of currency doing this. And this is why I thought like this strat has a high potential of being a real mainstay, super early, like day 1 farm potentially. Although people aren't necessarily buying iLvl 84 clusters on day 1, to be fair. Now next we're going to run this one, and the downside, you guys aren't going to believe this downside's really hilarious. This is delirious monsters killed in your maps provide minus 20% increased reward progress. Sounds absolutely terrible. Sounds really bad. And, look at the downsides on these. The downsides can be pretty rough on a lot of these idols. But there's a modifier on our rare idols, which is delirious monsters killed in your maps provide up to 20% increased reward progress. Okay, that is additive with this downside. One rare small idol can completely offset the downside of this unique cluster, which is really powerful because it gives a free round of on the map completion, which we'll save at the end, which will really help get that extra round of progress, which will drop an extra like 5 to 10 clusters when the time comes. And then I'm going to be running Wrath of the Cosmos because I'm still doing a little bit of Searing Exarch farming, and this is a speed farming strat, so we're just going to be running crazy fast through the maps. I don't want to deal with the delayed spawns of Eater, and again, this is kind of how I ran it before last time. And then we have the remaining rare idols. Now, as an honorable mention, I will say that before I was doing nothing but small idols, I was running this package here. I did some of these idols on the last farm, and this was me trying to set up for potentially scarab farming. And I thought, actually, this strat might be best served to be a 3-way farm with Searing Exarch altar farming, scarab farming, and then cluster farming with the reality fragment as well. I guess it's a 4-way farm. Well, much to my dismay, when I checked some of the preliminary results on what I was getting, about 70 to 80% of the profit I was making was cluster jewels. So I said, well, screw that. I'm not going to be taking up all this space with scarab farming idols if that's the case. Let's just go all in cluster jewels. If it really is that insane, and to be fair, the scarab market has been hit pretty hard by a lot of people farming scarab, and so you would want to maybe keep tabs of how that's going. Right now, right this second, the cluster market's like up here, amazing, and the scarab market's kind of down there. And we could see a scenario where they maybe flip-flop or reverse. So, you know, this will make for a decent hybridized farm with scarab farming, because basically you could just do a scarab farm but run delirium scarabs instead of pantheon scarabs and mirrored scarabs. Like, they're not that insanely strong, and still run antagonist mod on every map, and that would be a pretty good strat, honestly. So the rare small idols have either Searing Exarch pack size with reward progress, or they have, if I can find one, yeah, here we go. Delirium encounters in your maps have % chance to generate an additional reward with reward progress. The total amount of reward progress is a pretty insane number, 488%. And what do I get for doing it? What do I get for taking these idols that far? Like going, I did so many recombinations to get these the way I want it. It was a little bit expensive to do that, but all that effort basically means I get 1, maybe 2 extra rewards rounds. That's all. And again, that's why this strat's unbelievably good for somebody who hates the idol system and doesn't really want to mess with it and do it. That's why I showed you at the front end of the video a Citadel with no idols, still got 5 rewards for clearing like half the map. If I had done the full map with this, this idol here, I probably would have got 7 rewards. And when I do this strat with Abomination, I get 9 or 10. Not getting that much value out of going that ham on the idols. And again, that might be a kind of a case for scarab farming instead, but just take that for what it is. I do try to get, beyond in there. We're going to spawn delirium naturally, so I don't have to pick it on here. We can do domination instead. More monster packs with difficult rewards. Increase scarabs maybe. Get that legion in there. That's good. Legion's nice to give a bunch of headhunter buffs too. And Searing Exarch pack size wherever I can. So you'll see here that I have 10, right? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they're all perfectly rolled with 10, so I have a 100% chance to spawn additional reward type. But guess what? It's not that important, because 4 Paranoia Scarabs is 8 additional reward types. The Scarabs are doing way heavy lifting. So, I'm investing a pretty hard amount into idols just to get 1 extra reward type when Scarabs give me 8. It's, again, not that important to go crazy on the idol. The reward progress modifier is kind of important, though, if you want to get 1 or 2 extra rounds of rewards. Okay, there we go. Investment cost 73.3 divines, and then I will track the gold. I have 0 gold right now, but you can see it here. It has all the maps, or I mean, it did have all the maps. I just added the numbers up over here, and then I added 20 C per map, and that is where we came up with this number. Less than a divine per map. Abomination is honestly not that expensive. I'm surprised to see it so cheap, given the reality fragment is worth so much right now. All right, so we're going to do map 1. Let me put these worthless idols, I guess, away. I mean, maybe someday I will actually use these. I feel kind of bad when I use them. Okay, and then domination, and this is going to be a real map showcase. That whole thing with Citadel was just to, show something kind of wild, just to make it, to really just drive the point home. I'm not even going to do the expedition. Not worth it. Okay, you can see small clusters are the only thing showing up on my filter. If I see another cluster, that means it's pretty well rolled. And I already got a second 3 passive voices cluster instantly. I mean, look, I already have 5 reward rounds. I've already got as many reward rounds as I did in that Citadel map. How much of this map have I done? 3%? I've done 3%. Okay, so like, imagine I have a totally scuffed character, like utter garbage tier character. 6 portal every time. Couldn't kill the boss if my life depended on it. I'm still making crazy currency. Utterly failing these maps, still make crazy currency. That's the weird part about this strategy, and that is, again, part of the where I'm talking about very well kept secret, because I'm pretty sure people knew they could walk into tier 17, do 3% of the map, and like average a divine in profit in like 30 seconds of effort. 6 portal it, whatever, doesn't matter. Alright, here's a large cluster's worth something. This is the 12 passive shield, that's 1 divine. And if you're like, wow, Snoo, you're dropping so many crazy clusters. A lot of these aren't showing on the filter, okay? Literally no medium clusters showing. Most large clusters aren't showing. Only the small clusters are showing. 7 rewards. Already got my Soul Eater buff, so we're good there. Now, as I go further, I do actually like trying to clear the map, kind of progress it naturally so that I'm not leaving too much behind. I have rituals as backup in case I die to jumpstart headhunter buffs. I mean, sometimes I have other things. Also, the further you get along, the more cluster guilds drop. I mean, look how many clusters drop there, okay? Once you start getting a higher number of rewards, honestly, like almost 20 clusters dropped just from that one round of rewards. Going to reward number 8. We're going to see 10. We should see 10 in total. We'll get 9 and then we'll kill the boss. Close to that anyway. It is kind of important that I ramp up headhunter buffs pretty well before we go in there. I think we're probably there. Yep. A lot of monsters in here. Abyssal gear setup. Actually getting the spirit charges out. It's pretty easy. There you go. Alright, there's just some single target frostblade damage. You like that? I mean, Headhunter makes it easy. Oh, I actually dropped Devouring Fragment, which is not a common drop there. We got the Reality Fragment, so we got both of the valuable ones. Already making an absolute killing on this strat right now. We're just getting started. The 10th round right here, so that's 10 rounds. I'm out of here. Unless I got great... unless I got, like, really good... Look how many clusters there are, guys. Look at that. What in the world? So I go ahead and ID these, and later on I'll 5-1 the small ones that aren't any good. But, you know, we've already got, now, after 2 maps, 2-3 passive cluster. And there you go. You're going to see some highlights. We'll probably see some rounds where, like, more than one Tink drops at the same round. We'll see maybe some high-tier scarabs, but again, not really farming scarabs. We might see a few divine orbs. But, yeah, while you can hybridize this strat to other things, I'm going to be doing the sort of min-max all-in cluster farm because that's what the market is dictating right now. And we'll play it by ear after that. I have to be a little careful right now. Physical reflect. I got another large cluster. Time 8 passive shields, and that is also 1 divine. So we've now seen 12 passive shield and now 8 passive shield, both about 1 divine. And a Pandemonium Scarab. Wow. I don't even have Scarab's rarer variety, so I'm kind of surprised to see an Awakening and Pandemonium already. Eight passive minions worth like 40 C or something, so that's why that one shows up. The Artist, nice. All right, we do have. Wow, you know that's crazy. I did 100 maps of full-blown Searing Exarch altar farming. I didn't get a single card even worth that much in 100 maps. I got so crazy screwed on that farm. It's unreal. Things getting a little out of hand here on the Exarch altar side. This map went going a little crazy. Another 3 passive cluster with an 8 passive. Wow. And 11 passive minions. Still a little bit of value as well. That's an extra 5 divines. I must have made 20 divines on this map. Or close to it. I got a raw divine, a pandemonium scarab, the artist, 3 reservation efficiency scarabs, I think, or clusters, 2 8 passive shield clusters. The only thing I didn't get was a reality fragment. Also got a crazy amount of bubblegum currency this one, but I mean that's honestly probably not even worth picking up. Oh, you ran the temples yourself? Wow. I think templing light poacher is worth it, but I don't know about that fury, because people are gonna corrupt and drop double corrupted fury valves like crazy anyway. But light poacher, you can't, like, people aren't corrupting that, you know, and they're not gonna drop it corrupted randomly. So hey, we're back on this train, guys. Only took me 3 more maps. I had a dry streak of 3 maps without that cluster. Can you believe it? Feels bad, man. If I had to guess, I would guess I'm going to end up with roughly 40 or 50 of those. At least 30. Probably close to 30 to 40. And me pushing this video out is going to negatively impact the market on that for sure. Because there you go, I just dropped another one. I'm dropping one like every map. So there's like 120 of them on the market or something. Oh wow, second one already. 2 in 1 map. And the reason why it's so common for me is because, again, I'm seriously dropping like 100 cluster jewels every map. You got to think about the odds. If you drop 100 cluster jewels, you probably are going to get 1 on average in 100. Now, maybe not quite that, but that's why I think, you know, I don't end up with 100 at the end. I end up with like 30, 40, 50. So the weird thing is, I would get spammed. Like I did 20 maps and put like 8 on the market or something, or 10, and then I got spammed by somebody that bought all of them. I didn't even like underprice it either. They're like, I'll buy 5 or something like that, and I had like 6 left. I'm like, what? Why is somebody buying 5 of them at once? Are they fracturing? I guess they're fracturing it. Oh my god. I might be able to grab those. If there was crap on the ground, we'll go out of here. Oh man. Holy freaking. Why is there still garbage spawning on the ground? There's nothing alive here. A 1 mob. Oh my god. Hey, double reality fragments. Whoa! That star off screen. That's not what this farm's all about. What could that even be? A mystery star. Not so mystery star there. It is glittering scarab. Scarab dupes. Never fails. Power rune. Double red star down here. What? Small, large? I'll take that. With my ambush. Exarch altar mod. Take that cool 5 divines worth of loot in one place for 1 round. Containment scarab. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's dropped from this sucker here. Ambush scarab. Look at that. Crazy. Puzzle box? God, dude. Okay. The puzzle box was, the puzzle box really got outshined pretty hard in that moment. Like, oh, puzzle box, wait. That thing's garbage compared to the other stuff on the screen. Large cluster 12 passive with shield. Somebody just said it's worth 3 divines now, suddenly. It was around 1 divine when I started this farm. So maybe the cluster farm's literally gotten more lucrative as I began showing it off. Okay. Speak of the devil. 12 passive shield again. Another big one, huh? Another 12 passive and a small. So basically what you're saying is I just got 4 divine or 12 divines in 30 seconds. Okay. Okay. All right, let's see if we got one. Checking. Oh, we got one. Oh, 2 passives. Missed. 3 passives, the second one. Oh, nice. Alright, so this will be the first time I got more than 1 in a single round. Third one! Oh, damn. Oh, man, I thought I got a 4th one for a second. Three! 1, 2, 3. That's actually worth it. If that were to happen all the time. Can I get one more? Aww. Sentinel. Wait, Sacred Orb from the Delirium reward? What? Now I want to drop a mirror from a Delirium reward. Has that ever even happened? Apparently it's specific to that. What the hell? I gotta drop this down again. That's a screenshot. Dude, that's a screenshot. Okay. Okay. We made a YouTube screenshot for sure there. Too many tanks. 4 tanks instantly. Go into the map. 4 tanks. First I read 3 passive, then I actually should probably just look for a reservation first. Hey, we got one. 1? Oh, 2 passives. Nope. I think it has the same spawn rate as any of the other mods. There are a lot of modifiers on it though. Oh no, another 2 passive. I get scammed. I'm scammed. Alright, well anyway. Well, we exceeded expectations in this farming session dramatically. And not just because it's really good, like even better than I expected, but because we have a new player in town, a new cluster jewel, is now king of the hill, and you can see it in the overlay. It is large cluster, 12 passives, holding a shield, iLvl 84. It's all the lightning strike, super in-game builds. The market dried up on this cluster almost completely, and consequently it's being listed at the lowest sellable price, around 5 divines. There's even evidence of it selling in bulk on TFT, and the app hasn't caught up with this. This cluster was worth about 1 divine 48 hours ago. It is now worth astronomically more because people are mass fracturing it for their super endgame lightning strike builds, and that is going to elevate the strat dramatically. Now fortunately I at least had it on the radar and was picking them up, but I found 31 of them. So not 31 1 divine clusters, now 31 5 divine clusters. And we also have this little guy here still holding around 4 divines. I think it's about to break loose and go down to around 3.5. But the small cluster reservation efficiency, a ton of those. How many was it again? Actually forgot. I got it listed on the overlay, I guess. Somewhere. 63 of these, and about almost 10 of these were from the 5 to 1. I should say now, here and now, that it was not worth it. It was not worth 5 to 1ing these because I know at least an hour of time went by, which was counted for this. We spent about 9 hours doing this farm. You got to see the first map showcase. It was done in like 3.5 minutes. But it still took me about 9 hours to play time to do this because I had to spend a lot of time in the hideout, 5 to 1ing these. And I got about, I think, 9 of them. So a little bit of simple math tells that this fell way short. If it took me an hour and I got 9 of these and they're worth 4 divines worth a piece, then it's not worth it. Or it doesn't make sense to you because I haven't given you the numbers, actually. Hold on, we're about there. Let's get to those numbers. That is a big number, 546 here, and that's not even the full story. The breakdown here, 393 divines worth of clusters. Again, this is not counting the difference in value for the 12 passive clusters. I told you that the vast majority of it was clusters. A piddly 14 divines worth of scarabs found, and this number might have been quadruple this if I had taken scarab farming a little more seriously like I was before. Yeah, that's just crazy, the number differential there. The fragments is the reality fragment, for which we got a huge number, I think like 52 or something. And then we did get, some raw currency, and then it's all just kind of downhill from there. Look at the top lines here. We got cluster jewels, reality fragment, and then it's all cluster jewels. Even kind of the ones that are only worth 30, 45C, which I was picking up some of those. Bear in mind, I didn't pick up every single halfway valuable cluster. I kind of cut it off at around the 30C mark because I don't really want to make trades for much less than 30C at this point. Kind of high rolling the game now, I guess you could say. But here's the rest of everything else. Kind of adds up, and it's just a little bit of bubblegum. So we got the numbers here on the right. 12 passive shield cluster adjusted plus 124 divines. Okay, that is plus 4 on top of the app, which says right here, this is the cluster 1 divine. It's still saying 1 divine because it's not updated with the new trading price. So the investment was 73.3 divines. Gross was 668. Divines 594.9. Net profit in 100 maps in 9 hours. That's 5.9 divines per map and 66.1 divines per hour. That's got to be one of the best strats in the game right now. Do keep in mind the market's a little volatile for this farm, and it seems to be a pretty favorable time to do it. But I will tell you that shortly before starting this farm, the small cluster was worth like 6 or 7 divines apiece. So there is that. And the 12 passive minion cluster was worth 2 or 3, and it's also less. Gold per map is around 14,000, but per hour is around 266,000. So gold per map was like double what I was getting in the Steering Exarch farm. but per hour is only marginally better. And again, I still don't have any rarity on gear, so I was a little bit disappointed with the gold per hour. It looks like, not counting time, just going from tier 16 to tier 17, where both were kind of speed farming juiced farms, maybe double the gold was the difference there. I thought it'd be a little bit more, but that's okay. We managed to kill the boss 99 times. One time I gave up because I was trying to save for XP, and I thought I was actually successfully leveling to 100, and I kind of was there for a second. I got up to like 8 bars, and then I lost it all. So I said, forget that. But yeah, that's the numbers. And now let's get to a gambling session. There is a lot of stack decks, not very many uniques to mess with, and I don't even know. Maybe I got a couple Valdo boxes. We'll take a look. All right. We did it. Okay, actually, definitely came out in the green here. The Demon, about 4 div. Sephiroth's another one. Enlightens are close to a divine, and one not a brother's gift. Pretty good, even just for the high value cards. 460 stack decks. The reason I got so many is because like basically every reward tile set gave me 1 stack deck. All right, we'll put these away. We got a few other things to gamble. Not much in the way of corrupting. An Aegis Aurora. Oh, and it's dead. A Shavs. Nothing happened. And then Jinxed Juju, which... Actually, something decent did happen here. This might be worth a little bit now. Also, I forgot to mention, I did get a few kind of weird items here. Another reward tile set that was common was the synthesis items, and I got, for some reason, I got a lot of halfway decent ones that are worth maybe a little bit divine or something, nothing crazy. We had percent int amulet, percent strength belt, percent damage per 15 dex amulet, and max mana. I don't necessarily know if those are going to sell. Also, a well-rolled immutable force was in play, and this is like 3 divines. This also was not counted in its true value in the app. Puzzle box, Manu Gaze. Manu Gaze might be a little bit valuable. Maybe not now. Let me check that. City Square. Yeah, this is a 1 divine map. Okay. Jungle Valley. Well, we did everything, I guess. Yeah. All right, gambling session's over. It was a rather short one. So, let me give you my final thoughts. One of the downsides to this farm that a lot of people criticize it for is the fact that you have to liquidate a bunch of clusters. Now, kind of depends on what point in the league you're doing, the current state of the market. It's a little bit fickle sometimes. You know, when you try to list things for what they seem to be worth, you don't get any trades, and then you gotta like drop it and undercut the market. Maybe, you know, the demand versus supply fluctuates a lot on these sort of things. But I'm totally expecting, for example, this cluster to sell like a hotcake. If I were to just list this at 4 divines, I would get frickin' spammed for it based on what I'm seeing on the market. However, in the case of the reservation passive cluster, it looks like the market's starting to expand a bit on it, so the supply is getting higher, and so I'm going to have to undercut the market, probably 3.5, 3.8 divine, something like that if I want to sell them. And it kind of goes without saying, I shouldn't be dumping the entire thing I have at once, but trickling it in there, and yeah, at any rate, I'm expecting to sell it for everything for probably somewhere between 80 and 90% of the value that is listed. For its value, but you know, who knows what could happen. Obviously, making a video on this farm is going to negatively impact the market for those wanting to try and get into it, because it is a slightly volatile market. I try to stay away from farms that create a volatile market, but this is kind of an example of one. It's one I really enjoy doing, and it is just so lucrative. And another thing I really try to do is, especially now, but generally speaking, I try to give farms that don't have a terribly high barrier of entry in the beginning of the event anyway. I mean, towards the end of a league or whatever, it's whatever. But at this point, we're still, first couple weeks, I think. And so people not everyone's tripping out mirror tier characters and stuff, and has also an equal amount of currency to spend on idols for the you-know-what strategy. So I'm trying to, bring some value to you guys, bring you another alternative strat. So I hope you like that. And that's, again, the theme will continue moving forward. I kind of have in the back of my head an idea for another strat. Still holding on to some scarab idols. Still got pilfering divination card in the back of my mind. Maybe even like map, farming tier 17 maps from duped map strong boxes, that kind of thing. There's another one in the back of my mind. I'm not exactly sure what I'll go for next. But to be completely honest with you guys, this farm was so unbelievably lucrative, I might just stay on this for a day or two and build some currency. Yeah, I might do that because holy wow, that was a lot of currency, way more than I expected. And these were the idols. I think I scrolled over them in the beginning of the video, but you can go back to the beginning of the video if you want to see what they're all about. That's going to conclude my thoughts on it. Jump on the train for this one. Again, linear progression curve for the idol system. You don't need crazy idols. You don't even need a strong character. You can make quite a bit of currency doing this farm. You just need to at least be able to kill a few monsters in a tier 17 map. And just do Citadel. If you have no chance of killing the boss, pick Citadel, because that's a really cheap map. Because nobody wants to do the boss on that map anyway. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm done with this video. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments what strat you think I ought to be looking at. And maybe I'll give it a try. Maybe I'll think about it. But there is the fact that you got to buy a bunch of idols for it. But now I do have some currency to buy some idols, so I'm thinking about a few different ones. Now we run those Uber Mavens. Anything but bossing. Anything but that.